So, Diana, okay, I'll text you. Okay.
Quick question. This is Natasha. Um,
Yes.
is do you need us to read the instructions?
Camelia will do that
Okay.
for the translation. Thank you so
All
much.
right. You're welcome.
Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the
Hello.
episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the episode 3 of the online learning exchange series of IFAM Field Learning Sites. So we are really wonderful to welcome you all for this episode 3 discussion of the future is now, resilience and sovereignty through people-led agroecology. So this episode 3, is specially allocated to talk about the future is female, women, and agroecology. So I welcome you all again to the session, and good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from respective areas for the people who join us. So we have Spanish and French translation, which you can opt to use by clicking on the interpretation globe in the settings bar at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and just choosing language channel that you want to listen in. So I would like to invite Camelia from our team to give you an advice about how to use the interpretation channel. Camelia?
Good morning. Thank you so much. So today, interpretation in Spanish and French will be offered. To change your language on a computer, go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and press the interpretation globe. Here, you will be able to select a language. We do recommend that you do select a language because there will be several speakers of several languages on this event.
Okay. Thank you, Camelia. And if you have any technical issue of listening to the language interpretation channel, you can text, and our technical team will assist you. And also, this session will be recorded and also live stream in the PanEP Facebook page. So Diana, our friend from technical team, will share the Facebook page link, and we encourage you to share to reach the more audience of our speech. And also, we would like to remind our speakers to speak slowly and clearly to allow our interpreters to catch up, and don't forget to breathe and pause when necessary to pause. And we are also live streaming, as I said before, and we would like to invite, and we would like to remind you all, it would be really wonderful if you can rename your profile with your name and also organizations and also countries as possible. And I will introduce myself. I'm Chatu Sewandi. I'm the project coordinator of Vikalpana National Women's Federation in Sri Lanka. And we are also part of this learning exchange program, and we practice agroecology with rural women. And it's really happy to moderate these sessions. So, so if I explain a bit about the concept what is about this future is now, about the concept of this webinar series, the future is now, resilience and sovereignty through people-led agroecology, the online learning exchange series of the field learning sites of the International People's Agroecology Movement, or we call it IPAM. So you can see in the screen our pages and websites. You can visit and learn more about us. IPAM is a network of field learning sites from all over the world that provides various opportunities for farmers to know more about agroecological approaches to grow food and showcase what agroecology movements are doing in the ground. So our event is also part of annual campaign that we are celebrating now, called 16 Days of Global Action on Agroecology 2024, with the theme of agroecology is our climate solution, rural youth and women forward the future of
Go put your
food
shoes on
and the
then.
planet. So this event is held
Go put
from
your foot on.
1st to
Go put your shoes on.
16th of October. The 16-day campaign is a series of initiated awareness raising, campaigning and advocating for food system transformation and asserting food sovereignty and climate justice. Finally, we are also celebrating the International Day of Rural Women, which highlight the essential role that rural women and girls play in the food system of the world. So you can see how we are celebrating and some of our theme in the screen. Again, I would like to remind you, we have a Spanish and print translation, which you can opt to use by clicking the interpretation globe in the settings bar in the bottom of the Zoom screen and just choosing the language channel you want to hear. So, and also, so from moving from our theme, I would like to explain you a bit about why agroecology as future of the food. Why do we suggest and why do we see this as the solution for the crisis that we are going through? So the idea for the theme of this webinar series, The Future is Now, system from our belief that the future of our food system, food sovereignty is only possible through agroecology. As a science, praxis, and right peace movement, agroecology is able to embody the change we wish to see in our food system. It's about plural, equitable, healthy, safe, where everyone is fed while protecting our planet and communities. It's a world where food is restored and basic human right rather than strategic access to financialized and profit of in global financial market. It's a food future that is biodiverse and resilient rather than one built on homogeneity and consolidation for control. So most importantly, in this future, people rather than corporations are the agents of transformation, and the change imagined and aspired towards is systematic rather than technofixed. This and also distributive rather than accumulative, circulate instead of destructive. And women have important role in realizing the food in this food future. So this is our what we believe. And if I shortly introduce you to the episode 3, this theme. Today webinar is the third and sadly last episode of a three-part of part series exploring the idea of the food, the future of food. So first, we focused on the importance of fission and indigenous world views and practices in agroecology as the necessary climate solution. This is what we spoke on the first session. And this was followed by a conversation uh, of role of consumers in food system transformation through agroecology based what our field learning sites have learned in the engagement with this very important sector. Today, we are focusing on role of women in advancing agroecology. Women farmers are the front line of the transition from chemical intensive corporatized agriculture to agroecology, which upholds their rights and supports their role is ensuring climate resiliency, food sufficiency, and nutrition security at home in their communities through food sovereignty. So we are joined by our friends from IFAM field learning sites in Indonesia, Nepal, and Uganda. We encourage everyone to stay throughout our talk and ask questions given depth and diversity of experience of our speakers. So we have a Q&A session where you can speak and ask questions from our speakers. And meantime, if you have kind of like a burning question, absolutely you can type it in the chat box and we will follow them in our Q&A session. So let's go for our speakers. So first speaker is I would like to welcome Pramudita Kusuma Radani, or we can call her Dita. She's the coordinator of the Regentrified Agriculture Project of Gita Prativi Foundation, a non-governmental organization that focuses on environmental conservation issues and the struggle of justice and gender equality. So this organization is established in 1991. Greta Prativi's vision is the realization of more justice, social order, and environmental sustainability based on the values of justice, democratic participation, equitable, accountable, openness for the entire community without considering ethnicity, race, class, religion, and gender. It carries out various activities oriented towards empowerment, especially among women, to address the impact of accelerated industrial development on the environment and the community, especially women, children, and other marginalized groups. Often, this kind of growth reduces the rights of the community to participate in development and leads to excessive exploitation of natural resources and the climate emergency that is increasingly worsening the lives of the vulnerable. For Geeta Prithvi, efforts to resolve environmental problems and global warming cannot be separated from other social dimensions, namely social, political, and economic development structures. And Dita works with women farmers groups, farmers associations, the village governments, and stakeholders working in sustainable agriculture in central Java, Yogyakarta province. She supports farmers in increasing their capacities in agroecological practices and is involved in farm field trials, farm field schools, practical research, and green product development for economic empowerment. So I would like to welcome Geeta and Adita to speak and share your experiences.
Thank you, Kechu. Hello, everyone. I'm Gita from Gita Pertiwi, Indonesia.
Hi, we can hear you and you can continue. Can you unmute and speak? Yeah.
Okay, I will share my experience with women farmers in Indonesia. Okay, I'm from Gita Pertiwi. Gita Pertiwi is an NGO that focus on environmental sustainability and community development activities. Gita Pertiwi is located in Indonesia. One of Gita Pertiwi's program is sustainable agriculture, which is currently being implemented into Regency in Klaten, Madiun, and Yogyakarta. We prioritize female and young farmers in developing sustainable agriculture. We also collaborate with NGOs, international and national village governments, districts and national universities, media, and CSR that focus on environment. Women farmers in Indonesia, based on data, the data states that the number of female farmers in Indonesia is very small. In fact, almost more than 70% of women who live in village will work as a farmers. But what is written in the ID card is that women are generally written as a housewife, not farmers. So only a few women are recognized as farmers. The majority of female farmers lives in the village. They do not have permanent jobs written on their identity cards, but instead they help their husband to take care of the land. This makes them have a dual role, namely as housewives who are responsible for family affairs and helping their husbands work in the land to meet their economic needs. In the household, women must ensure the availability of needs for their children and husband, one of which is food needs. Based on its science, agroecology is a science that focuses on productivity and sustainability. Sustainability is not about food, but also source of livelihood, cultural and social sustainability. In sustainability in farming life between communities is in rural areas and the sustainability of nature and living things in it. Women are the case to sustainability because women think about the future of their children and their lives. Protecting nature for women is providing a future for their children and grandchildren. Agroecology consists of several sciences that have their respective focus, namely seven focus or seven knowledge are ecology, anthropology, sociology, ethnoecology, biological control, ecological economics, and basic agricultural science. Those who compose agroecology must refer to the knowledge of traditional farmers and then encourage the existence of principle that creates research of farmers' land. Then it becomes a new practice. This is one of the practical experience of agroecology farming that we developed on the islands of Java. Agroecology has three principles, namely one, nutrition, recycling, recycling nutrient and energy of the farm. Number two, integrating agriculture and livestock, diversifying species and genetic resources in agroecosystem over time and space. And number three, focusing on interaction and productivity across the agricultural system rather than focusing on individual species. So agroecological practice can be started in various ways, starting from crop rotation, not monoculture, but many types of plants, maintaining the diversity of plant types, for example, referring to the diversity of perennials and annual plants, such as agroforestry system. maintaining cover crops so that the soil is not quickly damaged and dry or even threatened by erosion, and paying attention to the function above the land that are not only for agriculture. Integrating agriculture and animal husbandry is good agroecological farming because it has mutually supporting function. Agroecology also talk about the relationship between food supply from rural to urban. We also have experience developing agriculture for people who live in urban and peri-urban areas where land is very limited. Of course, we adjust type of agriculture to its location. Uh, Here are some photos and our sharing of developing agriculture in a village that starting to have limited land. We are still trying to develop it in rice fields and yards. The activities carried out Kita Pertiwi are by applying the principles of agroecology in Klaten. Kita Pertiwi assess groups of female farmers to utilize limited land in the village. For example, yards, land owned by village, or land used for landfills. We encourage it to be used as a nutritional garden whose results can be consumed by the family. The women are enthusiastic about the activity. They start cultivating the land, preparing fertilizer and pesticides from natural ingredients such as vegetable scraps, fruit peels, and other easily found ingredients. On the limited land, they plant various types of plants, ranging from vegetables, fruits, herbal medicines, and flowers. We also teach farmers how to become resources for their own land. No need to go to a sophisticated laboratory. We use a simple kit to test the fertilizer content in the soil. In this way, female farmers are learning to test the content of their soil, how much nitrogen, how much phosphate, so that they understand very well whether their soil still needs a lot of chemical fertilizer. After applying the principles of agroecology to the woman farmers group nutrition carton, we measure to the change from the treatment. We do by measuring the soil pH to determine the acidity of the soil. Currently, the average soil pH is at 4.5 to 5.5. In addition to soil pH testing, in additional soil to pH testing, we also observe the agroecosystem in the garden, such as observing plant diversity, biological agents, natural enemies, and soil conditions. This is like monitoring learning outcomes, so that farmers also see the results that make them proud. From land management and the application of sustainable agriculture principles, the planted land experience change, one of which is soil fertility and the agroecosystem in it. We measure this change by measuring the pH of the soil to find out its fertility level. Then the observation of the agroecosystem. The importance of agroecology for women. The first, food security. By reducing chemical input in the cultivation process, produce vegetables that are healthier and have minimal residue. Women are primarily mothers, having the role of custodian of family food. This means that he plays a role in ensuring that food is available with su- This means that she plays a role in ensuring that food is available with sufficient nutrition for this family. The second, planting culture. The emergence of culture are planting by utilizing narrow land, idle land, and unmanaged land to become nutritional gardens for groups of women farmers. And the number three, learning center. The principle of agroecology applied in women farmer group increases women's knowledge in sustainable agricultural practices. They replicate the knowledge gained in the group nutritional garden is applied in their yard.
Data, just want to remind you, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, Kechu. Thank you. This is the photos of our champions. Number one as Miss Ambar, champion from Women Farmers Group Sri Kemuning at Prambanan, Klaten. Currently, Miss Ambar can facilitate her group in cultivating organically. After implementing the principle of agroecology and sustainability agriculture practices. Number two is Mrs. Rini. This is champion from Super Makmur di at Prambanan, Klaten. According to Mrs. Rini, after implementing the agroecology, the vegetable products from the nutritional garden are tastier and crispier. By reducing chemical fertilizer, the vegetable also do not taste bitter. They also encourage mothers in their environment to plant their own crops and use them for their own needs and sell them to local markets. I think that's all. Thank you. Catch you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lita. So for that wonderful presentation, it was really like we could see you shared like the land is your main issue, and we could see how women, particularly collectively, how did they overcome the challenges that they have through the practices of the agroecology. And thank you very much for sharing those indigenous stories as well, the success stories of the women. We saw how they use different strategies of agroecology like crop rotation and other strategies. You make your own fertilizer and everything. And thank you for sharing those stories, and particularly the women's success story. So our next speaker, if you have the questions regarding what Dita say, if you need anything to clarify, you can put the question in the either in the chat box, or you can ask it in the Q&A session. Please note down your questions. Okay, so the next speaker is Samjana Gule, the project coordinator of Srijan Shil Nepal, a partner of our field learning site, Caritas Nepal. So Samjana undertakes awareness raising, community mobilization, and coordination with the partners for the programs empowering women for social being and sustainable agriculture in the project areas. So Srinjanshil Nepal works to ensure children's right, women's right, human rights through the management of natural and local resources, human resources, through and networks, institutional development, and support the empowerment of target groups, bringing about changes in the living standards as well as environmental protection, and also enhancing the and increasing active participation to build an egalitarian society. So it uses the agroecological concepts to empower the women for social welfare and sustainable agriculture with the help of Miserio Germany and Caritas Nepal. And if I describe a little bit more about Caritas Nepal, it's a non-profit organization solely devoted to the service of the poor, most disadvantaged, and marginalized people in Nepal, irrespective of caste, creed, ethnicity, and nationality. It applies participatory approaches to empower them, reduce poverty and hunger, and the secure humanitarian assistance in the situation of man-made natural emergencies, and therefore to realize social justice and the peace. So I welcome our speaker, Samjana Gule, to present her presentation. Samjana, Samjana, you can share the screen and so you can see the screen. Samjana, can you speak?
Hello, namaste everyone.
Namaste. I can hear you clearly.
I'm from Nepal. Hello, namaste everyone. I'm
Hi, hi.
Sanjana Gole. I'm from Nepal. I'm working as a program coordinator in Resiliency Nepal. Also, I am working as a leader of Sri Trisakti Agriculture Cooperative Limited Field Learning Site. First of all, I would like to give special thanks to the organizers for giving us this opportunity to share the experience of the work we are doing. And now I am presenting my presentation. I will try to finish on time. First of all, introduction of Trisakti Agriculture Cooperative Field Learning Site. This learning site was established in 2022. Now there are 400 members in total in this center. Out of this, 60% are youth members, and the remaining 40% are adult members, and 27 women farmer group are affiliated to it. The objective of the learning site are as follows. uh, the specific objective of the learning site are social and economic empowerment of women and encouraging farming from the agroecological concept, protecting the environment, support and facilitate the meaningful participation, participation of women in the social sector and make them independent and making women aware of their right and providing them with access to local bodies. And our initiatives are discussion in 27 women agriculture group from PLT concept to empower member of women groups to coordinate with its stakeholders. Women groups should make an action plan for themselves and the community and submit it to the relevant agencies, bring the budget in a procedural manner and implement it successfully. Women group are leading and engaged in collective farming, agroecology, food sovereignty, concept of organic farming and agricultural practice, established agricultural product collection and sale center for market establishment, conducted various skill training for income generate and varietal trial plots practice. And our major achievements of the program, women group have established strong coordination between women group with their service provider, access to service providers, to set about the budget and plan in the field of social development to the target group in the relevant agencies, to discuss in the group to make a group plan and submit it to the relevant agencies through which the plan will be successfully implemented. And major achievement is also there. uh, Local stakeholder proposal for the selling center of chemical manner to uh, us, uh, but we are reject that proposal as we are working from concept of agroecology, being able to coordinate with the local government women group on how to address the concern of women group members. The local government have given priority to the social and economic empowerment program of women and group while to develop their action plan. And women group have discussion and identification about different kind of social issues and they coordinate to relevant agency to solve their problem. The ability of women group to discuss their social and economic issues.
Samjana.
And economic issues as a preface in the group and to find solution.
Samjana, we can hear you. You can speak. Samjana, we can hear you.
And this learning side is mainly working with four objectives under which women play an active role as leaders and members of their group, and this field learning site and implement plan to bring about social economic changes, and learning site aim to enable group to under one organization and promote sustainable agriculture and enterprise to improve household food security and income generate, has been conducting program for social and economic empowerment of women in particular providing them with information about the service providers, encouraging and facilitating women agriculture group to raise social issues and solve them, information about how to farm and agroecological perspective agriculture systems. It is working to protect the environment and promote local seed, local food, for the successful implementation of the mentioned theme.
Hi, Sanjana. There is a small request. Can you speak bit slowly? Then we can, our interpreters can interpret what you say. A bit slowly, not much speedy way. Thank you.
uh, our this learning side has been conducting training to enhance the capacity of the members from time to time, and to give information in an experimental manner, agricultural practice from an agricultural environment point of view um, has also been conducted. Also, the Women Agriculture Group has discussed in their group and submitted a proposal to the relevant agency to get financial and technical support for the work they need. Um, in this way, they have been continuously involved in the social and economic empowerment of the member by getting proper support from the relevant agency to invest in the welfare work, from which the social and economic strength of the woman is gradually increasing in our field learning side. Please, next interface.
Sanjana, what is the slide number you're on?
Samjana, can you let us know what's the slide number that you're on? Samjana, can you hear us? Samjana, can you hear us? We can't hear you, Sanjana. Hello, Samjana. We can't hear you. Uh, you can unmute and speak. Your co-host.
Yes, ma'am, I'm
Okay,
here.
okay, okay. We can hear you. Like, can you tell us what's the slide
Slide
number?
number now. Slide number 6.
6. Okay, Samjana, you can talk.
Uh, and we success in establish a local seed collection center to promote local seed. This has helped seed conservation and management, the welfare, right development and promotion of women group, providing motivation to women group. Their participation is every program at the local level has increased. Next, please. Women group have been saving, investing, loan in income generated activities. The member of the women group have been successful in making them adopt the traditional farming system from the agroecological concept towards organic farming. The member of the women group have started to produce the necessary seeds for agricultural work. As a result, the conservation of local seed and the use of hybrid seed have been greatly reduced. 27 women farmer group have submitted plan for various activities, and 27 group receive support according to their plan. This support were got for livestock, collective farming, slab construction, different types of skill development training. Uh, the woman group in involved in income generated activities with the support received from relevant office. As a result, the financial condition of the members is gradually getting stronger, and they have been continuing the work of financial income. Next. Um, there are also many challenges. So a lack of knowledge related to agroecological concept of agriculture, uh, also marketing management, especially for pesticide-free organic product, modern farming concept system, lack of agricultural technician here, difficulty in advancing the business as the low-income members are not able to procure the necessary material after providing skill development training, climate change, global warming. I think this is a worldwide problem. Also lack of attraction of youth towards agriculture profession, lack of manpower due to foreign employment migration. This is a and we are measures taken adapt to solve problem and challenges, for explaining the benefit of farming organically, at least from kitchen garden. Agroecological farming has been encouraged. Agricultural produce collection and sale center established. From time to time, observation and monitoring by agriculture and livestock technician, coordination with local representative bodies. Next. And local seed conservation has been made effective by the seed exchange program. Local seed production, collection, and conservation will be convenient for the farmers. The use of local seed as it directly support to promote of agroecological concept adapt for farming. This is our major learning. Next. It is easy to fulfill the purpose of the program when building an action plan to increase the economic status of the target group, not just an awareness program. The observation and monitoring program conducted by the supporting organization from time to time has given more guidance and increased motivation to move forward. Operationally, for the social and economic empowerment of women, the program will be more effective if male participants are made mandatory. Next.
You have 5 more minutes, Samjana. Thank you.
Uh, yes, only awareness is not sufficient for the sustainability of the program. If we sense them on various income generated activities, they can get more access in the community as they have uh, poor economic condition in the targeted area. Please next, ma'am. Some picture are there. This is a sanitation program by women group in their community. Um, this is also road construction by women group initiation. Gender assembly of our field learning site. This is also plantation, occasion of 16 days global action on agroecology 2023. Please next. This is also rally or plantation. Next. And this is a local seed exchange program. We are a total 5 seed exchanges program conducted. Next. This is a local food and agricultural product exhibition program. Local seed collection center. Our local seed collection center here. Second picture. And we are demonstration of production of various type of compost and botanical organic pest and disease control materials making training for our woman group. Next. And this is a also compost making training and a rally program. This is a sweet potato farming. And next. Organic farming practice trial plot managed by farmer as compared to chemical intensive plots. Next, uh, agriculture farmers are there making botanical pesticide and engage in goat farming. Next, this is a follow for agriculture and livestock technician in our field area. Next, this is also varietical trial plot on chili farming. Next, this is also varietical trial plot on chili farming. Uh, this is also varietical trial plot on maize. Yes, also varietical trial plot. Now we are this is a farmer field school preparation meeting from agroecological concept.
It would be great if you can wrap up.
Yes. Next, now group farming. Our agriculture group member uh, group farming.
Hi, Samjana. It would be great if you can wrap up since we have very limited time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I finished my presentation, and once again, many thanks for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samjana. And as Samjana shared through her photos, so we can see how effective this further learning side for their certain communities, particularly for women, to learn and to exchange their knowledge on seeds and also for about everything. So thank you very much, Sanjana, for showing us how important all of those learning sites and seed banks and your work with the youth particularly, and how you transfer this knowledge to the youth through your practices. And thank you very much for sharing. And if you have any questions about what Samjana was sharing, about their practices and their learnings and their achievements, you can ask them in the Q&A session. So next, from Asia, now we are going to move to Africa. So especially particularly to the Uganda. So our third speaker is Gertrude Kenyangi Kabusibi, and she's from Support for Women in Agriculture and Environment. We call it SWAGAN in short form, and where she still serves as the executive director there. So she has earned for herself the title the Ugandan forestry activist, as she has led Forest Edge community women in tree planting drives to establish forest resources on their household land to alleviate food shortage, reduce landslide and soil erosion, protect the natural watersheds of the river Mushmumba, a tributary of the River Nile, adapt to climate change and reduce human footprint on natural tropical forest. By the time she received the Wangari Maathai Forest Champions Award in 2015 in recognition of her efforts to promote the conservation and sustainable use of her country's forest resources. Miss Kenyangi had planted over 1 million trees in Ruoho and West Begu Natural Forest, Babasons. She has also won the one prize for eradication of extreme poverty. So I have personally visited her field and I have met her women that she's working on. It's really wonderful how their works in Uganda. So Swagan is an indigenous organization that Gertrude founded as is owned by grassroots women in Uganda. The organization's vision is all-round development of the human being and a mission to achieve equitable and gender-sensitive social, economic, environmentally sustainable development that guarantees dignified lives for all. Swagan works in 10 countries within the Eastern African region, providing ecosystem-based solutions. It works as grassroots among forest-dependent indigenous people and local communities to promote agroecological technologies and practices, plant trees for food and climate mitigation, construct fuel efficiency stores, rainwater harvesting, facilitate and transfer appropriate energy technologies such as solar at household level for climate change adaptation, enhance community resilience. The organization promote forest-based non-extractive income generation. Swagan participate in advocacy campaigns, especially for climate justice, gender justice, and food sovereignty. So before that, so this is the introduction for Swagan and also for Miss Kanyangi. Before that, it would be really good if we can spend 2 minutes to take our group photo. Is it possible, Mabi? Is it okay if we take group picture before we give flow to Kenyangi?
We can proceed with Miss Gertrude and then we can take the photo
Take the picture?
afterwards. Yes,
Okay, great.
afterwards. Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
great. I'm really sorry.
That's okay. Thanks,
So,
Chatu.
okay. So then we will listen to Miss Kenyangi and then we will take our group picture. Mr. Kenyangi.
Yes, thank you very much, Chatru, for that elaborate introduction. I'm pleased to be on this call. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. And my sharing is going to be about agroecology, women's land rights, a sure pathway to agroecology. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, just to give you a snapshot, women contribute up to 43% of agriculture if you look at the global scale. But in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, they contribute up to 74%. Less than 15% women own land globally. But on African continent, it's about 7%. Only 7%, only 2% of the organizations that govern the food system in low and middle income countries are led by women. The rest are led by men. 1 in every 4 women and girls expect to be moderately and severely food insecure by 2030, in spite of their big contribution to food security. Issues of land rights for women is a special topic for Swagen. Next slide, please. Yes. Now this, land itself is the single most important asset for anyone to have. It has the potential of holding materials, minerals, water, biological material, and social relations. It's a source of home, livelihood, food, and culture, and it has spiritual significance. It's indispensable to almost all human activity. At the same time, access to land and its affordability is one of the primary markers of social exclusion and inequity. The concern is in the control and access by marginalized groups, including women, with the focus on scale of farming, productivity, and viability. The implication is for food system outcomes such as food security. As a key element of agroecology, transparent and accountable and inclusive governance mechanisms are necessary to create an enabling environment that supports food providers as they transition to agroecology. Women, as you know, as I've outlined in the snapshot, are contributing a lot to food production. So when they are marginalized, it compromises their contribution to food, to wholesome food, to the ecologically produced food. Next slide. So the role of women in agroecology. Women hold a very significant role in agroecology. 60% of food produced by smallholder farmers, 60% of food is produced by smallholder farmers on 30% of their land. 50 to 80 is produced by women, depending on the country. For instance, in my country, Uganda, 80% of the food is produced by women. And not only in Uganda, in most sub-Saharan African countries. Women transition to agroecology and other sustainable approaches, healthy diets, sustainable agricultural production and income to strengthen, the thingy has gone off. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can hear you.
Okay. So, to strengthen their income. Agroecology ensures healthy diets for their communities and thus realization to the right food. As they grow food, they take care of their natural resources and ecosystems. If I can give an example of my country and community, it's the women who are custodians of seed. It's the women's indigenous knowledge in planting and maintaining soils, the soil fertility. Women are traditional custodians of the whole seed cycle, from selection, cleaning, storage, to identifying which seeds to plant each season. Next slide, please. So why do women's land rights matter? In many places around the world, women are systematically prevented from accessing land, even when it is their legal property or it is their right. This lack of access to land is a form of violence against women. In some places, laws are unequal for men and women, but local customs undermines these laws of women do not know their legal rights. The women may not know their legal rights, or may not even be in a position to seek after their legal rights, because the legal processes are very expensive, very elaborate, very laborious. In other places, discriminatory inheritance laws prevent women from receiving land that is rightfully theirs. In others, the death of a husband can uproot a woman's life, as women tend to be dispossessed when their husbands die. The relatives of the husband take over their property, including the land. A widow may be expected to remarry another man from her husband's family or lose everything. That is a choice between a rock and a hard place, especially in these days of AIDS. So it's also another form of violence, another form of marginalization, another form of oppression, when you are not left with the option of choosing your own partner after your husband dies, or just staying solo, staying single, and remaining with your property. Next slide, please. Next slide. Why land rights for women matter continues. Agriculture productivity and food security. With greater control over land, women can invest in more nutritious crops, more productive and sustainable practices, and have more influence on how the family leverages land for both food and income. It also has ripple effects for sustainable development. Stronger land rights for women can mean better investment in sustainable approaches and other measures crucial for both adaptation and mitigation of climate-related events. Next slide, please. So what are the barriers to access land? One, we have the legal barriers. Laws and policies exist and enacted, but lack of awareness, enforcement, and implementation leaves gaps where people can exploit the gaps and systematically marginalize women. Multiple legal systems, parallel legal structures, informal and customary or religious laws. There is a legal structure which is formal, but then there are also patriarchal structures within the customs and traditions, but also within religion, through which the marginalization can take place. Customary law and formal legal frameworks often contradict each other, or the relationship between them is simply unclear. Social norms about land. Land belongs to man and sons, related to inheritance practice. So if a woman, by customs and traditions, is not meant to inherit from her father or even from her husband, then she's left vulnerable, she's left exposed to exploitation, she's left landless without the single most important asset. Access to justice. Customary and informal justice systems frequently reflect the norms that discriminate against women with regard to land and may leave women without recourse. Next slide, please. Increasing access, control, and use. There's a silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining. Is increasing access, control, and use of land for women. So that one has shown that women are able to have higher economic gains. They have improved access to markets. There are new entrepreneurial opportunities. There is increased empowerment to make household decisions. When you have money, you can participate in household decision making. You can bargain. You have something to fall back on. More efficient and sustainable land use, because women possess that traditional knowledge. Increased agriculture investment and improved food security. Women's secure and documented ownership of land improve their access to credit. Next slide, please. Some innovations to women access to land. Okay, gender responsive methods which can quickly and efficiently map and certify land claims by women is also one of the innovations. Increasing access to land while improving the economic empowerment. Breaking systematic barriers to economic empowerment. Strengthening land governance programs. Capacity building to traditional leaders. These are some of the innovations that could lead to women's increased access to land. Next slide. Yeah, thank you for your attention. That brings me to the end of my presentation. I don't know whether I've completed the time that was allocated to me, but I had timed myself. So thanks very much for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Kenyangi, for your wonderful presentation. Actually, yeah, we also saw how the women's access to land, it is a very huge problem in Uganda, and we observe there, like the women shared us those stories. And thank you very much for putting that particular thing, and also your suggestions and what you're working on to access their land rights. Thank you very much for sharing those wonderful initiatives and also experiences, particularly the challenges as well. Thank you very much. So you can ask the questions. And before that, we will take our group picture. We have Diana, so she will support us to take our group picture. Diana?
Okay. Can I request everyone to open their cameras? Thank you. Okay, let's just wait while everyone is opening their camera.
Sana mag-open yung basan ka?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile. One more time.
Hindi naman bukas yung
1, 2, 3. Smile. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, we are not, we are not, don't say goodbye, we are staying and we will continue. Yeah. Some people say bye, and yeah, we will come back to the discussion. And I would just like to remind, like, we have a lot of participants today, around 68 or 70 participants who join us in a lot of areas in all over the world, actually. Australia, I will read some of the countries that you are joining, and I'm sorry if I miss any country. So the participants from Australia, Bangladesh, Bolivia, Brazil, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Canada, Congo, Egypt, France, Gabon, Germany, Ghana, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Italy, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Thailand, Uganda, US. So in a lot of region, the people from a lot of region, yeah, Leo from South Africa. Okay, if I missed anything, you can text here. I'll join in for today's discussion. And thank you very much for all of you. Now we are moving to the most important parts, like the questions and the issues that you had from our sharings of our speakers. First, Dita from Geeta Prathivi share her experiences. And also the second speaker was Sanjana from Nepal, and she shared her experiences. And also last speaker from Miss Kenyan from Uganda, she also shared how women, particularly through this field learning side, how do they practice agroecology in the ground, and also through agroecology, how they have able to find solution for the challenges that they are facing as women through collective approaches. That is the most important. And there they shared how those field learning sites and those things, those practices supported them to encourage and to become strongly spread what they are doing. So now it's time for the Q and questions. So I would like to invite you. You can raise your hand. I can call you, or otherwise you can put your question in the chat box. So we open the room for the question. I can see a hand raised from Gracia. So Mabi, please support me to go through the names, right? So Gracia, we can you can raise your question.
Hello, everyone. Good day and good evening, wherever you're from. I'm Gracia. I'm an undergraduate from the Philippines, and my question is for all the speakers today. So, I noticed throughout the webinar the common theme of empowering women in agriculture through first, education with the respective organizations, and second, calling for socio-economic support from our national governments. So the question itself is, in terms of the women in agriculture and agroecology today, what will she look like once we have achieved our goals? Like what does the plot of land she tills look like? What is her role in society? Or in overall, how are our women in agriculture dignified once we achieve our goals? So that's the question. I can type it out in the chat if um, yes, I'll type it out in the chat for
Okay.
everyone's reference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gracia. So would someone like to one of our speaker or three of you can respond to her question? Who want to go first? Dita or Samjana or Miss Kenyange?
I can go
Okay.
first.
Thank you.
Yeah, she asks after they've, okay, for instance, if women are given land rights, you know, if they cannot even be given land rights, they've got to grab the land rights themselves because no one is going to give them land rights. Once they've attained their land rights and they are practicing agroecology, it will dignify their lives because land is the most important asset. Without land, without rights to land, you cannot make any permanent investments on the land. You cannot even have economic benefits from the land. Whatever comes out of the land, any produce that you get out of the land, if you don't have rights to the land, will be taken away from you. But once you have rights to the land, then you have something, you make economic gains. And with economic gains, you are able to negotiate, to bargain in a household. It will improve your power relations within the home. We know that women invest, usually, we know that women usually invest what they earn in their children, in their families. For us in Africa, usually our husbands and men in our lives, when they get a lot of money, they go out, they drink, they marry other wives. For us, polygamy is kind of, it happens, although it's not accepted. So they marry other wives, they don't invest within the household. But if it's a woman that gains it, she's able to invest within her household. She's able, even domestic violence reduces, even gender-based violence reduces, you know, because you're asking less from your husband. So it builds your dignity as a human being. Thank you. Hope I've made myself clear.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that reply. And Dita and Samjana, would you like to add, or do we go for the other questions?
Okay. Women with agroecology, woman has an important role in agriculture, not only a labor or assistance her husband. She was make decision making for her land and agriculture practices. Women and her organization has opportunity to collaboration to make prepare their land and agriculture together. Let's experience from our champion, Mrs. Amber and Mrs. Rini.
Okay.
Okay, get you.
Okay, thank you. And Samjana, if you would like to respond to that question, I will repeat the question. So she said, like, I have noticed throughout the webinar that the common theme of empowering women in agriculture through first education with the respective organizations, and second, calling for social support from our national governments. In terms of the women in agriculture and agroecology today, what will she looks like once we have achieved our goals? And what does the plot of land she likes to she tells look like? What is her role in society, and how are our women in agriculture dignified? So those are the questions. If Samjana also want to respond, how do we need? Uh, do you have something else to share, Samjana, for that questions? What was not shared for? Or otherwise, we can go for questions from others. Please raise your hand, or you can write it in the chat box. Okay, we have Leo Alberts. Hi, Leo. You can ask your question.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lenora. I'm from South Africa.
Yeah.
It is amazing that how much women are contributing to agriculture and land. But land, even in South Africa, is a big problem for us, for women, because of regulations and policies. And the same as I see in Ghana and all African states, even in Africa. I think we are all more or less sitting with the same problem as women for access to land. And I think that we must do more as women standing together to change the narrative regarding the landlessness of women. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Something a perspective than the question, and thank you very much for sharing your perspective as well. Yeah, not only the question, you can share what you feel and what your reflections about what our speakers told, what the speakers shared. Is there any sharing, so messages you want to share? Okay. And I think Grisha is sharing, like I agree with Leo, we must work together as women to uplift each others. Thank you very much, Grisha, for that comment. And thank you very much for Ms. Kangai for reflecting your answer for that question. You showed us how the power works and what kind of relationship that women have over lands, and what kind of perspective and different things that she can achieve through accessing and through asserting her land rights. It's common all over the world. Once women owns their right to land, they can overcome a lot of issues, particularly the gender-based violence, and her decision-making power is enhanced. And thank you very much, Ms. Kangi, for emphasizing various perspectives. And it is really important women to have lands once we talk about agroecology. So, and if we don't have any more questions,
I have
Mabi,
a
can we?
question.
Oh, okay,
Hello.
sure.
I have a
Yeah.
question on the chat group. Please, please kindly read?
Okay, I will read, right? Your name is Buhai, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I will read your comment and also the question. Land is life, resource, and dignity, indigenous people, and to the farmers anthropism. However, these are taken away by multinational corporations in collaboration with the national governments in the guise of the development projects, resorts, real property building, and golf courses. Questions to the resource persons is, do you experience the realities in your communities or homelands? If yes, can you share how you overcome this? Is it clear? So her question is about the land and how this land grabbing is done by the corporations, aligned with the governments. And she need to know, do you experience this kind of realities in your communities or your villages? If yes, can you share how did you overcome these things? Samjana or Ms. Kanyangi, Dita, you can share your experiences. Dita, would you like to respond, or Samjana or Ms. Kanyangi? And Gesha is also commenting for that. Yes, this is extremely common here in the Philippines. So many farmlands and indigenous people are displaced because of the national government.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, I can share a bit about the Sri Lankan experience as well. This is also so true because we are in the middle of like economic crisis, and we are welcoming IMF in Sri Lanka, where they come up with where our government so welcome international investors, and we are because we need money to overcome through this economic crisis, and how like our lands are given are going to give for the sugarcane plantations and other monocropping plantations by the government. And it's always women who are like in the resistance. The struggles are there, people's struggles are there, particularly in Sri Lanka, particularly over the land. And it's important and it's good to see how women are in the front line of these struggles, and also how women have organized to overcome this struggle. If I share one story in Ridhimaliyadda, it is one of the rural area where 18,000 hectares of lands are going to be given to the foreign company for sugarcane. And because of the people's struggle, we could save the lands, and government still unable to get the lands from the people, from the farmers. And there, once the fights are once the corporates come with the government officers to capture the land, the women go to in the front line and they say it's we because they think the men, they are always try to get into the fights with the other men. So once we go as women in the front line, we can protect our men. So that is how they always overcome those issues, and they are very organized, and they are well planned, and they are in the sustainable solutions. Like as an example, to challenge the government, they are saying we are cultivating not the short crops but the stable crops here, like coconut and everything. So we are not cultivating short crops, therefore you can't take our land, because you can see stable crops are there. And it's a you can't take our land because we need this land for our income. So that's how the women are in the front line, and women are going through these things. So that is one of the experience that I wanted to share. So Dita, would you like to answer?
Thank you, Chatna, for that experience shared. I've won.
Thank you.
Thank
You know how to
you.
welcome. So Dita, you also want to share?
Okay,
Go ahead.
yes, same situation in Indonesia, but we try and use small land with access to woman farmer, like in dry land, garden, or land without using in small place in urban area. We use modification small places with urban farming approach, select vegetable plant and fruit and other plant for give income. Like this. Maybe like this, okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dita. So if there are no more questions, actually we can wrap up. So I can give you one more
There is one
opportunity.
more. I think there's one
Okay.
more question in the chat box. One or two.
Ah,
One is English, one is Espanol.
okay. I can read. I already read the English question, I guess, and I read the Geisha's reply for that question, and I'm unable to read the Spanish one. Can our translator support us? Okay, there is one more question. Uh,
Rose Hogan. Question is, what
uh,
role should international NGOs play in preventing land grabs, feminizing agriculture, and promoting agroeco nationally and regionally in Asia and Africa? Rose Hogan from Trocare. And then one is, I think this is Spanish, from Karin Chimba, and there's one more coming up in Malaysia. Oh, Malaysia is sharing.
It's French.
ah.
French, not Spanish.
See, it's friends. Thank you.
Okay, so can we
Yes, please.
okay, so there's a translation of the question, right? For the Spanish one. The problem of access to land is difficult in my country, Gabon. The land belongs to the state, so communities, men and women, are exploited when there are forestry, mining, or agro-industry permits. Women and their families are not often consulted during free, prior and informed consent session. Women from all countries must support each other's in order to show example that have worked well. This will give courage. Okay, this is kind of like a sharing, more about sharing. So in Malaysia, we start to educate the community about the agroecology, especially in paddy industry. We start planting in poly bags and encourage organic farming. And we as NGO support initiatives. Thank you very much for those sharings. Okay, this is more about the sharings. Okay, do you have other questions?
There's a
Oh,
question, Chatu, from Rose
okay.
Hogan. Uh,
Maybe can
yeah.
you
Okay,
question?
so
Okay, I can read it. I can
okay.
see it.
Thanks, Chatu.
Okay, question to research speakers. What role should international NGO play in preventing land grabs, feminizing agriculture and promoting agroecology nationally and regionally in Asia and Africa? Rose Hogan is asking. So can one of you respond to that question?
Okay. I think we need collaboration and sharing resources with others NGO, support for advocacy to government, increase capacity our team and partners, and networking with global alliance. Maybe like this for me.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. So do Samaja or Miss Kenyangi, do you need to respond to that question? The question of Rose? Okay, maybe. Thank you very much. I think Rose, yeah, happy with that her answer. And thank you very much for your wonderful involvement with your questions and everything. So we are in we're in the stage of wrapping up our today's discussions. And thank you very much for all our speakers and guests for reaffirming that peasant farmers, indigenous people, civil society organization, and people's movement are already prefiguring our future food system by advancing agroecology and food sovereignty. We would like to invite organization advancing agroecology to be part of the International People's Agroecology Movement, IPAM network, as an agroecology field learning site. We call it FLS. And also I have a one more message, like we would encourage you to share us about your actions about the World Hungry Day. And Gail is here from PCFS, and Gail will share how you can share your actions against for the World Hungry Day with us. And also, we would like to So IPAM is a global platform, if I remind you again, where members can share knowledge and experience in different agroecological techniques and practices through online and ground trainings, highlighting campaigns and advocates in advancing the movement for agroecology and food sovereignty and strength through solidarity across continents through face-to-face activities such as learning exchange, foods festival, seed exchange, and solidarity field visit, and host wide array of online events aimed at advocating agroecology as an alternative to corporate agriculture. So thank you very much again. Thank you very much again for joining us, for sharing, for all your comments and sharings. So I think you will join with us for our next phases as well. And I would like to thank you again for everyone for your wonderful involvement and wonderful sharings. So we will meet again. Thank you. Good evening, good night, and good morning.
Good
Bye,
night. Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you, Kechi.